Hey all, Hipper here, and we are back with a favorite of the people, and it is the Agile Strasbourg. And in this game here, it's in a division, but first let's look at the commander. I'm using Roux with Azure Lane Baltimore and Tesla for better turret traverse, and then of course I have all the usual stuff here on my Agile commander. And of course the base trait is useless, but don't worry about that. Ingenious, full speed ahead, Velocious, steer clear, and fully packed. That's a standard Agile cruiser setup that I pretty much just put on this ship here. Improved turret traverse as well, because we're going to be close in the ship. Rudder, of course, and then the target acquisition. Don't really have any other choice there. 4 heals, no less than 5 spotter planes, and very importantly here you get 3 main battery reload boosts. That's a good thing, trust me. 25-second reload, quite long, 16-kilometer range, not very far. Less than 6-second rudder shift, look at that, 730-meter turning radius and 32 knots. And the turning radius is smaller than that of Hipper, Atago, Mogami, actually most cruisers. And the rudder is getting down there. Like, this is a battleship, and it has less than 6-second rudder. I mean, and you're gonna need it, because look at the armor here, it's all green. And it's better that you don't take hits in this ship than taking hits, obviously. It actually works with an Agile build. Now, in this battle here, I didn't actually mean to play with an Agile build, but I do. It was an accident because I just picked the ship. We were doing tier 6s in the division, and the division is, by the way, with Tactic Angel and Let 'em Peek again here. I don't usually play Agile battleships, and I especially don't play Agile battleships in divisions. But like I said, this one was a mistake, so I thought, we're already in the battle, I might as well make the best of it. So we're giving it a shot here. Now, Agile battleships is something that a lot of people want to see. And yeah, I get it, it's quite fun and quirky. But the reality is that most battleships, they don't do well with an Agile build. And Strasbourg being pretty much the only exception. Scharnhorst perhaps also does reasonably well with an Agile build. Odin can also work, but that's about it. Champagne, yeah, can work. I'll do a little bit of experimentation on Champagne. I haven't really done much on it. But any other battleship, there's really no point putting an Agile build on them because they are not Agile. I mean, they are big fat ships, and Strasbourg and the others I mentioned, they are the only exceptions because the rudder is about 8 seconds. Except for Strasbourg, it's less than 6 seconds, which is awesome. And Strasbourg has like that turning radius, which is just awesome. And it's a completely different playstyle. Because obviously you are an Agile battleship, so you should make use of your agility. Otherwise, what's the point? You might as well just play a normal build. And one of the best ways to use the agility on Strasbourg here, it is when you face a ship and you shoot and you have to wait for your reload, unless you're using your reload booster, of course. You can turn around very, very quickly in this ship here. It's not like other battleships where if you show broadside, you're showing broadside and you're gonna get nailed with the next salvo. In this ship here, you can show your broadside and turn in a matter of probably 10 to 12 seconds, something along those lines. And that means it's not a problem showing broadside as long as the enemy has just fired. Then it's easily done. And it means you can move in and fire your main guns and then turn the whole ship around and get your secondaries on the back. You can see them there. There's 6 of them. Get them into action to set some fires on the enemy. And then kite your way forward. And while you're doing that, you of course get your front turrets into position and then kind of shoot over your shoulder as you're moving away. That works really well. I'm not really doing it in this battle here because this is a division battle and I don't want to play too crazy here and let the other people down. But like I said, Strasbourg actually works with an Agile build, and it works well. I don't think I would recommend it over a traditional Battleship build, you know, like reload, AP and all that stuff. But it does work. And if you have Strasbourg and you want to try it out in AI first and see what you think. Because most people don't expect Battleship with these builds here, and it could be hard for your team to capitalize on the fact that you have an Agile Battleship, because it's pretty much unheard of. So yeah. Is it viable? Yes. Is it something that I recommend you doing? No. I mean, I recommend Agile Cruisers, absolutely. But Agile Battleships, it's just more of a fun, quirky thing to try out once in a while. Unless we get some sort of like amazing battleship commander in the future that gives you like an extra minus 20% rudder on your battleships, well, then we might actually start to talk about real Agile Battleships. And Strasbourg would definitely be one of those. If I could cut another 20% rudder of this thing here, it would be quite amazing, actually. I will say that one good thing about having an Agile build on your battleships make it a lot easier to dodge torpedoes, especially in Strasbourg, because it's not very long, this battleship here, and like I said, the turning radius is smaller than a Targo, for example, and smaller than Hipper as well. So it works, and it works quite well. I should have had HE loaded there. I was hoping he would show broadside, but obviously he turned the other way. So in an Agile Battleship, usually start out with just like, you know, usual Battleship stuff where you sit in cover like I did, and for the first third of the match you just take pot shots at whoever is available and whoever shows you a broadside, pretty much. About a third into the battle you can start to come out from your hidey hole, and like I'm doing here, and this battle here we're already doing really well, so I'm playing a lot more aggressively now than I normally would, because I want this cap. And I want this Italian here out of my cap. That's pretty much it. And this ship is fast, like 32 knots at tier 6. And you can set up some quite nasty surprises here. I mean, I would have that guy dead to rights as soon as he came around the corner. And that's it. The cap is available and I can grab it in my battleship here. And because you are so tanky, you can use your battleship like I'm doing here as a kind of a decoy to just attract fire. Like here the Helena wants to take me out, but I'm spotting him, and I know for a fact that both Peak and Tactic, they're just waiting for this guy to do something so they can hit him. And there's a salvo incoming there, and I mean, it doesn't really bother me. This guy doesn't have torpedoes, so sooner or later I will reload. And unless someone takes him out before me, like Tactic did there, then this is going to work out fine. And then we go around the corner and we have a new one here. And again, he's shooting at me, meaning that he'll leave Peak and Tactic alone and they can just pretty much have their way with this guy here. Of course, I can do that too. And I am. But this is stuff that you can't do in an Agile Cruiser. I mean, you cannot really tank a New Mexico like that unless you are like very good at it and you can avoid the salvos, like I show in my Agile Cruiser videos. But you don't have to really that much in a battleship, because you can just nose in and pretty much tank the whole salvo. And because that New Mexico only had one salvo to fire, and if I were him, I would have shot at Peak in the Talon instead, but I was just closer and a more inviting target, but also a waste of ammunition, really. So he's gone, and there's only 2 destroyers left now. And like I said before, I don't fear torpedoes in Agile Battleships. Well, I don't fear torpedoes much anyway, but especially in Agile Battleships, it's really not a problem. So I'm just gonna flush this Agile here out of its smoke, and I can cheat it out of it there. So I mean, this is what you can pull off in these things here, and it's fun. It's fun. It's definitely fun. and it's different. So if you get sick of playing every one of your battleships as a traditional battleship, well, you can put an agile build on them, and you get a totally different experience for a game or two, and then you can return to the more traditional way of playing. It's viable, it's fun, it doesn't really require much, so I don't see why not. Alright guys, that was the end of the Agile battle here, and as usual, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.